Hi, this is Sean. Some of you have noticed that in a few of my videos recently I've used different backing tracks and you've been asking about them. So today we're going to take a look at Quartet app. In this video I'll show you how it works, how I get the most out of it, and I'll do some demonstrations of my playing with it as well. There are currently 4 volumes of the app, and the Quartet team have agreed to give away 4 entire bundles of all 4 apps to 4 viewers of this channel. See the link in the description for how to enter for free, and I'll be announcing the 4 winners soon. So what exactly is it? Well, it's a series of backing tracks, but with a difference, because they're played by actual real musicians, some of the guys on the London scene actually. You're hearing an example of a track with my playing over the top of it right now. I'll be doing some more demos as this video goes on. Now it currently works on iOS and Mac, so iPhone, iPad, Apple Macs, as long as they're silicone from M1 and beyond. No Android version just yet, but it is in development and the team are aiming to release it in Q1 of 2026, so watch this space. I bought it once for my iPad, but I didn't have to repurchase it to use it on my iPhone and my Mac, so that works really well for me because it's with me everywhere. Currently there are 4 volumes of the Quartet app, which all have different tunes in them. At the end I'll be talking about which version you should get if you're not planning to get a bundle just yet and you want to get started with the main jazz standards. Quartet 5 is due to be released in November 2025, so looking forward to that. So when we open up Quartet 1 here, I can scroll through tunes or I can search particular tunes. You can also search styles, or say for example I could search ballad if I wanted to practice ballads and it'll come up with those. But let's try something. Let me work on Embraceable You. There it is. Now here it will tell you which of the Quartet apps it's in. So this is in Quartet number 1. Let me open it up. And there's what we see. We see a chord chart. There's normally an introduction. They're well-played intros. Then we get into the main area, and then it will go round solos as many times as we set it. So I'm just going to click on this repeat button over there. That brings up settings. So I can say I'd like a count in. Because it's a ballad, I normally have a 1-bar count in, not a 2. So that's nice that it gives me that option. I don't need to transpose to B flat or E flat, because I'm not a horn player. How many times you want the solos to go around. So I'll stick to 1 for now. And then what mix do you want? So if you want the piano, bass and drums, that's the default. And that will sound like this. And if you want to be the piano player, which obviously I do most of the time, there are times I might not want to do that. If I'm practicing improv, the piano can be useful to have in there. But normally for me, bass and drums are useful. So let's work on some accompanying. I would normally play Embraceable in F. I mean, I do take it through the keys, but I'm just going to minus the key down to F there. I'll keep the tempo. Let's go. So this is for me just practicing chords and accompaniment. Sneak in some extra chords there. Now, sometimes if I'm practicing accompanying like this, then I'm wondering, would I get in the way if somebody else is there? Am I doing too much, you know? And if I want to get back to that kind of thinking, then I can introduce the soloists. So they'll have sax, I think sometimes guitar, and flutes sometimes. On this tune, it's sax. So I'm going to bring in the sax mix. What I like is that I can do that while it's playing. It doesn't kill the flow. If you're finding this interesting, then please hit the subscribe button, the notification bell so you know when I upload new content, and leave a comment. What are you currently using for your backing tracks? Do you like the sound of this? Is there another option that you'd like to see added? And remember, if you want to get fluent with your playing, that's exactly what we do on Jazz Skills with structured lessons and support from me. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try Like Someone in Love. Intro, which is based on part of the tune, which is good, I like that. Based on the last part of the tune, which is something we do, good. Little disagreement on changes, but I got away with it. Now, because this would be considered the head, the tune, right? The bass is in twos. Also happy with that. Because in improv practice, even if I'm not working on the tune, that can be quite handy to just work in twos, have the change of feel. So hopefully we'll see that happen. Bass. So my final thoughts, you're probably getting the idea that I like it. I actually use it regularly. The things I love are that it sounds great out of the box. You're playing with real musicians, so it makes you feel like playing and it gives you an authentic sound. Of course, there are other apps like iReal Pro that are very functional, but then they don't have that authentic played sound to them. There's a huge selection of tunes already, with new ones being added in future volumes, so that's pretty cool. Many of the tunes I want to play are already in there. I like that it's always with me on my iPhone, or if I've got my Mac, or if I've got my iPad, it's just there ready to go. Another pro is the customizable mixes, so you can work with bass drums, piano, trio if you're a horn player or a singer, or you can remove certain instruments. You can add in the sax if you want to practice comping as well. The transpose and tempo changes are quite natural, and the algorithm they must be using for pitch shifting and tempo is working well. And that brings me on to some things I maybe don't love as much, because when you transpose, currently the drums also transpose, everything shifts, but they're also working on that in a future update, so I'll be pleased when that happens. In general, that's not a deal breaker for me. It works pretty well. I notice it more in swing tunes with the stick on the ride cymbal, less on tunes where the drummer's using brushes. Understandably, there's only one chorus of solos, which you can repeat as many times as you like, but it won't vary each time. I get why they would do that. It makes sense for file sizes and the amount of time you would need in a studio. Not a big deal breaker for me. I'm quite happy with it. Of course, it being played, it's quite fixed in the fact that I can't edit any chord changes if there's something I want to do differently. Because I generally remove the piano, I can get away with minor disagreements on chord changes most of the time. So despite those minor limitations, for something that works out of the box, sounds authentic, and you can just play with, I'm using it quite often in my practice. Now, what to buy if it's your first time using Quartet app and you don't want to buy a bundle yet? I think Quartet 1 is where you get many of the common standards that we play. That's a good starting point. The tunes in the volumes that follow, some standards in there as well, and then some less common tunes or different styles, so more variety in those at the moment. So remember, Quartet app are giving away 4 complete bundles of all 4 apps, so 4 people will win all 4 apps. Check the link in my description. It's free to enter the competition. You'll just go to Jazz Skills and answer a simple question, and I'll announce the randomly chose winners very soon. And if it's time to skyrocket your playing, finally get fluent in the language of jazz so you've got freedom and get some real support as well, come and see us on Jazz Skills. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye for now.